Let's just talk about George Washington, just because I thought I knew a lot about George Washington.
Right.
I didn't know about his misspent early 20s. He wasn't the killer. He wasn't the decapitator and brain scooper outer. Who was, what went on, and why does it speak so poorly of our founding father?
So George Washington at the time was like 22 years old, and he was given his first military assignment. He had been a surveyor previously, and he'd been very successful at that. And they were recruiting for young men to come and be leaders in the army, so he was given this opportunity to go and have diplomatic relations with the French. And he enlisted this man known as the Half-King, Tonnacresson, who was a Native American leader. He had some authority on behalf of the Iroquois Council. The French had done a lot of horrible things to him and his people, and he was out for revenge. So he sets up this situation where he's taking the English troops through the wilds of Pennsylvania, and he is able to track down where the French have set up their camp and lead them to it, start a confrontation, and in the middle of it, there's gunfire, and then it stops, and George Washington and the French captain were trying to communicate with each other. Tonnacresson steps up and then brains him with a tomahawk, basically. And then, according to some stories, then puts his hands in the guy's brain pan and scoops them out. This obviously caused a huge international incident. The French chased the English back. They were in this terrible little fort, and they were basically cornered. And so George Washington is given an opportunity to end this conflict by signing a treaty. But the treaty is in French, and George Washington doesn't speak French, and neither do any of his men. So he just signs it thinking, okay, this will be over, not realizing that in signing the treaty, he has admitted to culpability.
And it takes a year and a half to go back to France
Yep.
and then for the orders to come back. But voila, there is now a war. Thank you, George Washington.
Huge World War, 7 years war. But amazingly, George Washington managed to profit, basically fail upward from this. He published his journals from it, in which he does not take a lot of culpability, paints himself in the best possible light. But
Does
they
the
became,
word axe appear anywhere in those journals?
I'm sure they did, yeah, at some point, because it was an essential tool. He probably would have described it as a tomahawk, because that's what it was.